Kitchen, après 12 l'année, pralé dans un nouveau local qui créé avec toute nouvelle technologie pour bay patient Lio plus bon service à tout kenon. N'a inauguré nouveau local Kermax là qui nan 4300 Westbois Road Boulevard samedi cap 10 février 2024 sorti 1h après-midi pour arriver 4h. N'a invité tout le monde vinn visiter nouveau local Kermax Medical Centers. Pour plus d'informations, relais nan 305 748 62 11 305 748 62 11.
Hey everyone, my name is Gilbert Franklin. You could always reach me at 954-667-4885, 954-667-4885. As always, you know, every Wednesday from 2 to 3, it is the English version of the information that we're bringing for you regarding Medicare, Medicaid, food stamp, low-income subsidy, retired benefits. Today, I am going to talk a little bit about Medicare Advantage Plan. There's some news that came out over the week, actually an article that came out over the weekend, and I'd like to share it with you because I think it's going to have a great impact on the benefits that's coming out next year. So I want you guys to be ready for it because it's going to affect every person that's receiving Social Security right now and that's about to receive Social Security in the future. You see some of the giants in the industry starting to press the alarm bell. We started to see that at the beginning of the year when even some of the medium-sized companies started to tighten their belt. That's probably an easy way of putting it. And at the time, the first tighten didn't set alarm bell, but once we sat down in some of the meetings, and the prognosis was not great. What's to come? So, without further ado, let's get into that information. And afterward, we'll talk about survival benefits. I think that's very important for us from time to time to revisit survival benefits, what survival benefits, and how could you as an individual that's especially at a young age, you could benefit from survival benefits. So let's start with this article. By the way, this article was written by Yahoo Finance. And the title, you could actually go on Yahoo/finance and you could retrieve this information because it's talking how complex Medicare Advantage market left Humana scrambling for to start the 2024. You've probably heard me complimenting Humana for coming out with a type of benefits in 2023 that what they did was combine the over-the-counter benefits, combine it with the meal card benefits, and they said, well, now instead of you utilize the OTC benefits for the over-the-counter product. Now you could take the over-the-counter benefits, combine it with the meal card, the meal benefits. So now you're going to be spending more money to buy food, groceries. That impact, in turn, what it did was, remember, I always tell you that whenever you're taking something out or you're giving something, the impact is going to be on the benefit that you're receiving. You hear me talk about the buyback program. And 9 times out of 10, the people that it doesn't affect are always gung-ho and said, yes, I'm going to push this product. Because guess what? Whether they push product A or product B, they're still getting paid the same amount. So they don't see the other side. And that could be frustrating because what happened is that um, then those individuals have a selfish mentality. Worry about them right now at this moment, worry about themselves at this moment, but not thinking about the long term impact, not seeing that the effect that potentially down the line, how it's going to impact the whole market as a whole, but they just concentrate on getting their paycheck um, on a weekly or bi-weekly basis. But we have to think more broader. And I said we have to think more broader because we have to see exactly the impact it's going to have on the whole market long term. Long term, this is exactly what's going to happen. The prognosis is showing you that you're going to have, I believe, by the end of the decade, let me get that exact quote for you, okay? By the end of I think 2040, they estimate that you're going to have 80 plus million people receiving that's on Medicare. I'm trying to get the exact quote for you. So you're looking at by 2040, 80 million people that's going to be assigned in Medicare. Now, and you see the increase from year to year, how it increased from year to year, and all those increase. Okay, they expect the U.S. population 65 and older to grow from 56.1 million in 2020. It was 56.1 in 2020 to 73.1 million by the end of the decade. Now, we're in 2024, so we're looking at to add roughly about 19,000 plus, 19 million people into that's going to be receiving retirement benefits. However, the rate of growth among this demographic is expected to slow, with the Census Bureau projecting that 80.8 million Americans will be over 65 by 2040. By 2040, you're going to have 80.8 million Americans over the age of 65. So, in translation, what does that mean for you? You that are listening to me, you that's sometimes we kind of think, and when I mean we, my generation, and maybe I'm dating myself a bit, but we forget that we are about to enter that market. And what I'm talking about, which market I'm talking about, the senior market. And I don't think it's that we forget it, but because AARP do a very well job and to announce us that, oh, you're getting there. I'm sure many of you that are listening to me right now that are of that generation, the baby boomer generation, you've already started seeing long when you were in your 50s, you started to receive brochure cards from AARP letting you know that it's time for you to enroll with AARP. There's some advantage, there's some disadvantage, which we won't get into today. But bottom line is that market is growing. And what it means is that now they have to tighten their belt. This whole notion of you getting $175 a month for the meal for groceries, and possibly the the OTC. So don't be surprised by next year. And the person that started doing that will probably, I'm guessing they're going to stop that benefit or reduce the amount. Because as that tide grow, in 1983, President Ronald Reagan had foreseen this happening, so that's why they decided to raise the retirement limit to 67 for those of you that's the age of 60 and up. So your retirement will be 67 years old. Now, most of us are at the baby boomer generation. We are going to live longer. We are living longer. But at the same time, the impact it's going to have on Social Security is going to be, it's going to be very difficult for them to maintain the benefit that receiving. So what's going to happen? The reducement, they're going to start reducing on benefits. And a lot of people that's hearing me probably thinking that you're being a doom and gloom. But that's not the case. I'm reading all the tea leaves, and at first I was very happy to, especially we were in a state of inflationary state where the inflation was a year ago, 2 years ago, roughly 2 years ago, it was at 10%. So there were a need to do that so that the seniors that's living on a strict income could survive. But what's going to happen now? When you're used to getting that meal card and be able to use that credit card that they sent you to go in there and buy food. And plus, on top of it, you had your Medicaid, your food stamp. So let's stay put. Let's stay tuned. And don't do the mistake where you're going to jump from plan to plan when one plan discontinue a benefit. Because that's what we saw this past year. In 2023, there were so many people that was jumping ship, jumping from one plan going to another. And the end result is that I had a patient that came to me and said, well, I'm switching back because I went to see my urologist. He said he doesn't take that plan. So sometimes you have to really examine what you have and see where you're going, whether this particular benefits. And at the time, yes, it may have seemed a good plan. The fact that you're getting more money for food, but what are you giving up when you jump ship from one plan to another? And a lot of people had quickly seen that, wait a minute, especially those that know what's priority for them, because your health should be priority. Yes, food should be priority as well. However, one of the things that I think all the seniors, and in particular those that's at CAMAX Medical Centers of Broward, and one thing that we do very well is making sure that those benefits, you have them. I was talking to a patient earlier, and we discussed about the purpose of having a food stamp. You'd be surprised that a lot of people, when I sit down with them and when we talk about food stamp, some of them say, well, no, I don't need it. And I always encourage them, if they're eligible for it, to receive it. And we'll elaborate. I remember when this particular plan came out with a meal card, and it was new to some people. And there was one patient in particular said, man, I don't need that. I give it away. And another lady that was nearby said, I'll take it. So when we calculate the amount that they'll be depositing on a monthly basis for the individual, what he just did is gave $900 to that lady for a whole year. So not only now she have her card, she have his card, and she could go shopping and all dandy. Listen, you're never too proud to use a food stamp, or I should say never be too proud to use food stamp, because if you need it, the day that you wake up in the morning, there's no food in the fridge, or there's no water in the fridge, and you check your pocket and there's nothing there, or what you have there is really already tight, there's bills that's coming along, and now if somebody put that food stamp in front of you, you're going to use it. So the meal card is that's going to come to an end. And that is my forecast. So don't blame anybody else. You could blame me for it. Not that it's something that I like, the fact that it will. It may not come to a full stop completely, but eventually they will reduce it, because a lot of these companies are losing money because of that. And remember, every single one of those plans, they have a limit, a minimum amount of profit they have to make. The minimum of profit they have to make is 3%. If they don't meet that target, if they fall below 3%, then Medicare is going to come to them and says, you are not managing those lives properly, therefore we're going to have to cancel your contract. Now, we don't want to see none of these companies lose their contract. So most of the time, what's happening right now, and I'll speak for all the providers, the primary cares, the different clinics that's out there, they're suffering because of that. Because I think I've explaining this to you guys, and I may get into trouble for this. So far, every time I come with some information on here, and I said I may get into trouble, I haven't gotten any calls from my colleagues or other doctors about what I'm talking about. So, yes, I may get into trouble for this. Medicare, each month, have a set amount that it gives for you. The set amount is based on it's based on how sick you are. Let's put it exactly the way it is. It's based on how sick you are. So if you're a person with cancer, for example, they pay more money for you because you require more visits. Your medication, they are more expensive. So therefore, your utilization is going to be higher. What I mean by your utilization is going to be higher, you're going to use the service more. You're going to use up your benefits more than the average person that's not that sick. So Medicare has to make the adjustment based on your doctor's diagnosis, based on your doctor's finding, to determine, okay, you have diabetes. Diabetes, is it controlled? Is it not controlled? You have hypertension. Is it controlled? Is it not controlled? Each of those factors determine, okay, how much are we going to pay for this person? And that's why you have a lot of you guys, especially, I would really like to see a lot of my Haitian brothers and sisters, the young ones that's coming up now, consider a career in billings. Consider, consider a career in billings. Consider a career of in that, because that's a very good part of the equation in healthcare. And we don't talk about it. We don't think about it. But the other communities, they are very well involved in it, and they are there in the decision making, and they're part of the income that the clinics are getting, the doctors are getting. So consider that. But anyway, we getting off script there. So we were talking about how we get to that point. So the doctors themselves. Now, anybody, sorry, I lose my train of thought. But anybody that's calling me right now, call me if you have any. If you have a comment about what we're talking about, you could call me right now at 305-945-1580. 305-945-1580. If you have any question for me, we'll take your question live on the air right now. So again, the number is 305-945-1580. I would love to hear what you have to say. 305-945-1580. Thank you. So yes, let me hear from you. So yes, the set amount now, Medicare pays for you each month. Remember, out of that amount, there's a lot of expenses that comes out of it. There's your doctor's visit that comes out of it, which a set amount is set aside for the doctor. You have for Part B. Remember, when you go to a specialist, if there's any medication that's prescribed at the specialist, or not given to you at the specialist office, they charge the Part B for it. Your prescription drugs, your specialist visit, hospitalization, which is the biggest part, because if you end up, not even end up in a hospital, just visit the hospital for a couple of hours, they will send a bill for $6,000. I usually use the example of when you get to the airport at Maïgate in Haiti. As soon as you get there, there's different individuals that just put their hand on your luggage and said, I'm here to help you too. And before you know it, by the time you get to the door, there's about 4 individuals. They just have their hand on the luggage and walking out with the luggage. And when you get to your car, every single one of them is expecting to get paid. Well, that's the case when you get in a hospital. From the time you set foot in the hospital, you have the person that's going to triage you, the nurse that's going to triage you. Then you have someone that register you. And while you're there, from the triage, they send you to the back, and you have a nurse that come in to prep you, getting you ready, trying to take your vital sign, quickly do lab, And if you look at the cost of each of those services, and if we take each of the services, compare them to, in fact, we'll just compare it to urgent care. Automatically, the price of those services drop by, I would say, 50%, if not more. So the hospital bill is extremely more. So that's why 2 hours in a hospital is $6,000. So let's do the math. If they're paying $1,500 for you on a monthly basis, and you step in a hospital, out of that $1,500, remember there's a lot of things that's coming out of it. Let's say, for example, total for everything on a monthly basis is about $1,200 spent for you. And now when you come in, you use $200 for a meal card, there's nothing left. And now you're going to tackle hospitalization on top of it. That's another $6,000. So now that particular center is in the red for you. Now, why do I bring all this information and basically inside information that probably a lot of providers may not like the fact that I'm bringing it to you? I'm bringing it to you because, so one, you could be aware of your benefits, how we derive at, what's the word? No. What I'm trying to say, I want you to see, understand, and appreciate the benefits that you have and the best way you could utilize it. That's my goal. So with this information that I'm bringing for you today, the goal is to see what's the best way you could utilize this information so that, especially the hospitalization, if you don't need, if there's no reason, and reason, what I'm talking about, if you're not short of breath, heart rate is to the roof, or you feel any chest pain, what other reason? I think those are the two main reasons. Then there's no need for you to go to an emergency room. You could go to an urgent care. You could call your doctor and make an appointment and go to see your doctor at the center. Because the center should be equipped when you walk in the door to address your situation. 305-945-1580, 305-945-1580. Let me hear from you. Before, I like to hear from one person before we take our break. But also, what I would like to take a moment before we go on break, temporary break. February 10th, 2024. Anybody that is listening to my voice right now, whether you're in Dade County or Broward County or Palm Beach County, I would like to extend an invitation to you. On that day, we will be inaugurating CalMax Medical Center of Plantation. It is one of my proudest moments because of where we started and where we are today. I am not one that like to be in the center of attraction when it comes to that. But sometimes we need to evaluate what we have accomplished and give God thanks, because along the way there were so many obstacles. So on that day, we're going to celebrate those obstacles. We're going to celebrate where we are, because today we have a center in Broward, 4300 West Broward Boulevard, where it is a state of the art facility, and we're proud to say that 97% of the people that are in that center are from Haiti. It is not by accident that 97% of the people in that center are from Haiti. It's mainly because I targeted I targeted the Haitian community and wanted to make sure that you have a home in Broward County where you could get the best care available to you. And we have accomplished that. And that by any means that doesn't mean that we're perfect, but we have accomplished that by staying true to our words and providing the benefits. And answer your phone calls when you call us. So if you're a member, I'd like to hear from you. 305-945-1580, 305-945-1580. We're going to take that break now. When we return, we're going to return with more information, more. We're going to talk about survivor benefits. I think it's necessary for you to know about survivor benefits. Again, my name is Gilbert Franklin. So we're not going to waste it by listening to music. It's not a waste, but although the message is powerful, but the information is just as powerful and just as needed for you guys. So we're going to transition to talking about survivor benefits. I think it's warranted to say that every time that I talk about survivor benefits, the first person that comes to mind is Benjamin Crump. Some of you may have heard of him. Some of you may not heard of him. I like to give credit where credit's due, because had he not posted that information on his Twitter feed, you probably would not have heard about survival benefits. There's a lot of benefits that's inside Social Security benefits that they don't talk about it. Actually, and I keep saying this is the only show on the radio that you will hear information like that. And the reason that they don't talk so much about these benefits is they know that if you are aware of the benefits that you have, and if you tap into it, then it's more money that's coming out. You know, when you hear about 80.3 or 80.6 million people living in the United States will reach the age of 65 in 2040. So you have 80.6 million. You know, right now you have about 56.1. And so the increase is a lot. So those people are getting benefits. That money had to come from somewhere. And the way it works is that the people that's in the workforce right now, the money that's coming from those people, that's where that money is coming from to pay your benefits. So if those benefits are not forthcoming, then you stand a chance of not getting not getting your benefits. But that's not going to happen. And again, that's why they've taken the option of increasing the retirement age so that more money more money is coming, and that money will be able to pay for Social Security and all these other great benefits that you're receiving. So if more people is aware of survival benefits, then you would apply for survival benefits. Survival benefits is one of the benefits that is not retroactive. What I mean by that is that if you have a spouse that passed away, and if that happened in June of 2023, and you're just finding out about survival benefits now, you go to the Social Security office and they'll tell you, well, yes, he passed away in June 2023, but we're not going to go back from June 2023 to pay you. We're going to start it as right now, January 31st, 2024. The payment will start right now for that particular month. But whatever from June to January, those 6 months you're not getting paid for it. Pure and simple. Those 6 months you're not going to be getting paid for them. On the other hand, disability work totally different. I had a gentleman in the office earlier, and I applied for disability benefits for him 12 months ago. Yeah, roughly about 12 months ago. 12 and a half months ago. They sent him a check when they approved them around December. And they send the whole amount that's due to him from the day that I put in the application for him up until December. They sent him a huge check. In fact, it seems to me that he has gained some weight. I don't know if it's the amount of money that they sent to him. Now he's eating better, he's less stressed, and he has put some weight. You know who I'm talking about. Hopefully he's listening. But survival benefits doesn't work that way. So that's why I need for every single one of you who have that information, who's listening to me, I want you to be able to pass that information on. First of all, let me give you the background what survival benefits is. Survival benefits is for anyone. If you have worked in the United States, have 40 quarters plus, and if you died, your spouse, your children now is entitled to be receiving survival benefits. Even though when you died, you were not at the retirement age. So let's take a number. For example, if you get somebody that is in mid to late 40s, and probably even less, because if you take someone who start working at the age of 16, well, at age 26, you already, if he continue to work every year from the age of 16 to age of 26, he already earned his 40 credits. So if this person is married at age 26 and died at age 30 and was married, then his spouse or her spouse is entitled to go and collect that survival benefit. If they had children, the children will start receiving survival benefits, and there's a set amount that will be deposited in an account for them every month. up until the age of 18 if they still in school, or the age of 19 if they are disabled. That's survival benefits. Survival benefits is also can use in a different way. I had a call yesterday, I believe it was, and the question was the person spouse passed away, and they went to collect the survival benefits. And what they did was exactly what I've been talking about. The application for survival benefits could only be, you could only go to the Social Security office to apply for it. So you can't come to me for me to sit in my office and do the application for you. So the application was made, but what she did was, or the agent at the Social Security, because you got some good one that's there, and when you sit in front of them, they're going to give you, they know the product, and they're going to give you all your options. So that person had the wherewithal to said, I'm going to apply for with a restricted benefits for you. Because the individual is young, the individual will continue to work. So that individual will start receiving the survival benefits immediately. While that individual is continue to work, and I must admit that this person is very intelligent. What this person did and said, I'm going to continue receiving survival benefits and continue to work, but my benefits, I will receive it when I reach the age of 70. And that's what she did when, that's what the person did. And at the age of 70, they went to the Social Security and said, I'm going to receive benefits based on my earning right now. So they discontinue the survival benefits, and now this individual is getting benefits based on his or her earnings. There's more to it. Those other aspects I won't get into. So with that, what happened is that there's a lump sum up front that they will give you, and the monthly that you're going to receive is much higher. I believe for anyone that's if you were supposed to receive, it's your full retirement age is 67, and you wait for the age age 70 to receive those benefits. And those benefits I'm talking about retirement benefits. The difference between age 67 and age 70 is 124%. So you're getting 124%. You do the math. But I could only suggest it for those of you who's receiving, I believe you could do it for spousal benefits, that I'm not certain. Yes, you could do it, receive it with spousal benefits, and when you reach that age and go back and say, listen, my benefits right now is higher. I want to take my benefit based on my earning. And I'm sure they will do that for you. 305-945-1580, 305-945-1580. Oh, that coffee is working. 305-945-1580, 305-945-1580. Let me hear from you guys. So survival benefits is very important for you to know. So if you have a friend right now that have lost a spouse, then you might want to go and talk to your friend and let them know immediately to apply for survival benefits. Hello, you on the air.
Yeah, good afternoon, Gilbert. How are you?
Great. How are you
Oh,
doing?
I want to ask you a question. Who is entitled to receive the survival benefit? And also, which state allows for people to receive this survival benefit? And how old you must be?
Survival benefits, you could receive it in all the state because it's a federal program from Social Security. There's no age limit as long you have acquired 40 quarters. It's a spouse could receive it, your children could receive it, and if you have parents that depends on your income for living, your parents could also receive it. They even have somewhere along there, even an adopted child could receive survival benefits. So they really include a lot of different type of people in there that's eligible to receive survival benefits.
Oh, okay. Another question.
Uh-huh.
There's things that you talk about before.
Mm-hmm.
I see a lot of things. This law about the new medical expenses is this a change from? Is this a law that they're just passing for those medical people that are receiving Medicare or Medicaid? And are we in big trouble by the Part C, which is Medicaid? Is this a new change from Congress, or is this a new law they're passing for people that are receiving Social Security? That is something that you talked about previously.
Right. It's not a law yet. It's not a law. Basically, what and we talk about Humana. Humana is currently sitting about on 81 million members. Okay, so Humana actually is the number one Medicare Advantage plan. So when Humana does something like they did this past year, where they merge the meal card, and the OTC together, now that end up with a ripple effect where the providers, the money that they receive, the money that Humana allowed for the meal card and the OTC, now it's coming out of the providers' funds. So now the centers and Humana is feeling the pinch. And right now, since they've already submit their plan, there's not much they could do. But you will start seeing the change coming into effect in 2025 benefits, where some of those benefits will be reduced. And at that point, you're going to see a lot of people again jump ship from Humana to other plans. Because the other plans right now, they also have to make adjustment, because Humana caused them to make those adjustments at the beginning of the year. Oh yes, 2023, just about every single one of them came out with the meal card. However, they set certain restriction. It was not retroactive. So if you don't use it for that particular month, you can't go back and use it. It's not going to be there for you for the following month. So
they will reduce. They will reduce the amount that they put on the OTCs. Let's say we want to order a few things, so they're going to lower the amount that they used to give instead of leaving it the same way.
I think right now right now we're just guessing potentially what's going to happen. Okay, I think what's going to probably happen is that yes, reduce the amount for OTC and reduce the amount for the meal card and potentially do away completely with the meal card. Because both the meal card came into play because inflation was very high. Now that inflation is going back down, and
that I see.
Well, you're not feeling it, but the last estimate inflation was at 2.6%. A lot of it, you guys going to start feeling it in a few months. In fact, today the Fed's supposed to come out. If they haven't come out yet today, maybe they did because nope, they haven't come out with it. They're going to come out and to let you know if they're going to raise interest, what they're going to do with interest rate, whether they're going to keep it the same, whether they're going to reduce it. Let's hope they reduce it, because if they reduce it, the market will go up, and everybody will start feeling the difference, a difference in their lives. A lot of things will go down. Thank you for your call. I always appreciate hearing from you.
One more question.
Not much time left.
The OTC, is this the card that has a red and yellow mark on it? Let's say that means you could purchase, let's say, pay your bills with it. Is this the card you're talking about?
Yep, that one. They probably the part about paying your bills with it, they probably eliminate that first out of everything.
Oh,
Again,
my God.
We'll talk about it on the other half. Again, my name is Gilbert Franklin. You could always reach me at 954-667-4885, 954-667-4885.